orientate, mobilize. It's just another gesture from government that, look, the reason we are doing this is because we must act. We can't sit and fold our arms. Like I said, no life is lesser than the other. So what they are doing is, by the time we do this, we get through this process, Nigerians will have, it's an opportunity for us to also reach out to the people. We will now move in. Do It Right Nigeria will move in and use this occasion, this situation, to also reinforce our vision of a cohesive Nigeria where people need to be patriotic. That, look, come. Certain times will come where our patriotism will be called into question, like what has just happened. I believe we'll rise over this situation, and then Nigerians will move forward, and we'll begin to come in and say appeal. We'll appeal to people that if we do this, if we are together, then in the first place, we wouldn't even have a situation like this, because security is all about intelligence. If, like you said, the relationship between the security agencies and the populace and the public have been cordial, and there's this trust there, I tell you, most of these things would have been nipped in the bud long time ago, because people would have drawn the attention of the relevant security agencies to the activities of, I'm sure, some people who are not supposed to be there in the first place.
Should we also be thinking of using social media to help drum up support and encouragement for the government and our troops?
Yes, of course. We should deploy every platform, every social media, we should use the media. We should even be on the streets. By now, I expect that people should be on the streets, supporting, yes, this government, saying yes, drawing support. That for the first time, you see, that we've come together because our security, our lives have been threatened. So we can take off from there. When we rally around and government sees that support, the overwhelming support, you know, certain things happen and it creates a turning point. And government will now enjoy the relationship and support of the people. Then we can go ahead and begin to set agenda for the government and say, yes, let's take it beyond security issues.
So it goes beyond protest all of the time. So you can drum up support by taking to the streets to show your support?
Yes, to show your support and to tell the world that, yes, we're in support of the government, even though we'll have pockets of critics, pockets of people who will say yes for several reasons, who will still not see anything good in what government is doing, but who must overwhelmingly express it. If we're using the social media, we should also be on the street to galvanize support.
Sorry, Chamberlain. Such support, what does it create in the minds of the terrorists when they see this kind of support from a large number of the citizens for the government and the military? Does it create fear and panic in the terrorists?
Simple. You're being rejected by the people. There's no more safe haven. Because don't forget, like I said, the reason they would have claimed certain area as theirs and they hold sway in that area is because they enjoy the support of the locals. And if we now have the same people who have given them support coming out to say, we don't want you in our area, like I said, we need to improve. We also have to draw lessons from what is happening. This is the right time for the security agencies, for the government to improve its relationship with the public. Because if you want this support, that means there must be trust. That it shouldn't just be after the state of emergency, after this issue, then we all go back to our different, to the reality on ground. And everybody go back to their trenches. And yes, the critics will start criticizing. Then the man will now go back to a situation where, okay, we only come together if it affects everybody negatively. But then we must do certain things, especially positive things, so that we enjoy that support. Government can now count on the people, and the people can trust the government they have in place.
I mean, should they consider it appropriate, that's government now, if, because with the same amount of support, rising in unison to support the government in this action Nigerians have done, should they also expect that if you take a wrong step, with this same amount of passion, you see Nigerians also rise up and say, no, do it right. That's the right thing.
That's why I said it's a whole lesson.
Without thinking that it was meant for the wrong purpose, having demonstrated this support.
No, you see, the thing is, what is happening is an opportunity for us, and we at Do It Right Nigeria will come in here. We'll be on the streets, just like I've said now.
So that strategy is also included?
Yes, we'll be on the streets to galvanize support, for the government. We must we must have a face on the street. We must tell people, because that's the only way you can really put it out to the world, especially to the world, that yes, truly, we are in support. It's not as if government is doing this in isolation and yes, it's a thing done and collectively by the political class. Yes, it enjoys the support of every one of us. It's one of our strategies. We'll do that. And then it begins to send a signal to everybody, especially the people on the other side of the fence who are not patriotic, who feel, yes, they can still harm this country, who believe their personal interest is above the collective interest of all of us. We are part owners of this country. We are owners of the collective wealth. And we must, at every point in time, feel that, yes, we're part of the system.
In all of this, I just realized you haven't mentioned the National Orientation Agency. It looks to me that we have the power to change things if we can actually look inward and start to drive all of this change individually and ultimately collectively. We can achieve that with or without the NOA.
No. You see, nation building is a collective responsibility. We need everyone. We cannot exclude a set of people. They are all Nigerians. Every government apparatus, both private, do it right. We're doing it as an organization in support of every other organization, including the NOA, because the NOA has a statutory obligation to begin to orientate the mindset of Nigerians.
What kind of language should we be using? Is it a language that every man or every Nigerian understands, irrespective of your locality?
Yes, you see, first of all, we should see ourselves as Nigerians first, before your ethnic, religious affiliation. So that's the only way by which we can have that sense of patriotism. But if we first of all hold on to certain things that are close to us, our sentiment, we must, then you discover that we will now see issues from our personal views, from religious views, and if we do that, we'll continue to, you see, the lines that divide us will continue to be widened, but we must come together as Nigerians at points like this and every other point, because, you see, we must put politics, sentiment aside. Patriotism and sentiments are two different things. You are allowed to express your views, fine, within a democratic setting, because the Constitution guarantees your freedom of expression.
But you also agree, sorry to butt in there, it's a two-way thing, it's a two-way road. For you to be patriotic, there must be something that has
a reward.
Actually, yes. So what's the reward?
Yes, a reward. But again, you see, the reward, if it's not even there, it's just like doing what you love doing. You have passion for it. Even when the reward is not there, it's an opportunity for you to keep doing it until you get it right to the point that the reward's coming. You see, if we are patriotic, we'll set agenda positively. For 10 years, you see, it's funny that somebody who chooses to be on the other side of the fence for over 10, 15 years and keep criticizing, and you said, yes, it's one of your duties to criticize constructively, but we're saying, don't just criticize, prefer solutions. Say, yes, I'm not in tune, I don't like this policy or what is happening, but if you can do it this way, you see, it will go like that. We must be constructive. It's only when you're patriotic that you have that passion to also provide solution and say yes. But then if you have you're locked in a negative mindset, you only see it from your narrow mindset, and your personal interest will ultimately and always override the collective interest of the country.
But part of the actions that perhaps the government needs to take to sustain that interest and patriotism is they have to have some sort of consistent, commensurate action to support this one, which things that they consistently will do right, emphasizing on merit, ensuring that things go right, and then you will always have the support. It shouldn't be far-fetched, should it?
No, it shouldn't be far-fetched. Yes, that's what you say. If you lead by example, if you do what is right, what you're expected to do at all times, you see, people are not blind. They see these things. And you don't even have to work too hard to get the people to support the government. You won't even have to say so much to galvanize the people. Nigerians are watching. Nigerians are intelligent. The thing is this, but when people, maybe their leaders, who they see as role models, who they voted into power, are doing things that they are not too comfortable with, there's bound to be resistance. And that is why it's so hard to find people talk about patriotism, because they'll tell you what is the reward at the end of the day. And when you now have people like us, what we are doing, other groups may also come in and say, okay, let's step in. Let's get our people. Let's talk to ourselves. Let's get the people to say, fine, these things may not be going right as it is now. But of course, do you know we can come together and work in partnership with the government? A time will come when situation will provide